In summary, Human Fighter is now wearing a dead crocodile as a cape, Grung Warlock has a third hand that's rubbing his head, and Human Monk has become the king of the swamp, surfing on 2 crocodiles while high on nut meth. Here everyone, SkyDieRay, hello, having welcome to end DnDGreentext Green. They hope I'm having a day. Jesus Christ. How are you guys doing? Having a wonderful day today. Before jumping into the video, I want to quickly kindly ask you if you want to take a moment to smash the like video on the button. It only takes a second and I appreciate it a lot and helps out, so thanks so much for doing that. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoy making an entrance. A funny story from around a year ago that I wanted to share with you all. Be me, Gunslinger Rogue. Be not me, DM, regular Rogue, Paladin, and the Monk Paladin multiclass. Be playing an evil one-shot. Have to go meet up with a mob boss to get the details on our mission. Front door to the hideout is blocked. Everyone has gathered around, watching a fight between an extremely ripped gnome and a regular dude. Get asked about how we're going to enter the hideout. We decide to climb up through a window on the 2nd floor. The regular rogue sees me do this and follows my lead. We both do well because we're level 14 and reliable talent is busted. Paladin and Monk walk to another side and only see a wooden wall. The DM asks them what they want to do. Monk turns to the Paladin and says, "F this wall." Rolls to attack the wall and rolls a free. Monk describes how he comically trips and hits his face against the wall. Paladin gets an idea, puts his hand on the back of the monk and attempts to slam his friend's body through the wall. He rolls high. The monk takes a bit of damage, but the wall is now entirely destroyed. The crowd of people that were watching the fight now have their full attention on the guys that headbutted their way through the side of the building. 4 mobsters draw their guns since 2 random guys just burst into their lounge. Monk, with excessive splinters sticking out of his face, rolls to intimidate. He rolls high. 3 of the mobsters retreat and the remaining lad disbands. The situation is pretty much resolved and we're about to meet up with the mob boss. Someone, I forget who, casually mentions that we're lucky that the wall wasn't load-bearing. DM's eyes light up. He rolls a d4. He informs us that the entire building is now starting to collapse. Have to go through an entire sequence where we jump off the 2nd floor of the crumbling hideout to a separate building. The mob boss took out a dang hang glider and got to the building without issue. Dude, surprisingly, doesn't care that we destroyed his hideout and gives us the details for the mission. The actual mission had some wacky moments as well, but this was by far the most memorable portion of the entire one-shot for me. I love my group. Yeah, I don't know. Is it even worth getting mad at the people that, demolished a wall with their bare bodies? It might be a good idea to get those people on your side, so yeah, the mob boss is pretty smart dude. Also, I just noticed that the pic is related. The horse incident. I'm a very new DM, but this incident in my very first session was too funny to not talk about. Be me, first time DM running my first session in the last half hour or so of it. Be not me, variant human artificer, fairy monk, Lokatath rogue and reborn wizard. Party was traveling from one town to another, which would serve as halfway towards the location of their first quest. I roll a random encounter and it's a knight on a warhorse who attacks the party, believing them to be monsters in disguise. Check the knight stat block. It's CR free and the players are level 1. I decide to change it to a guard to make it more manageable. Total CR is 5/8 and should be easy for them. Party hears a horse approaching and sees the guy coming towards them at full speed. "All ye who are on this road be monsters," the crazed horseman yells. They have a level 4 DNPC with them who I decide to have stay out of the fight such as to not make it too easy. All but the wizard succeed a strength check to not be knocked prone. Both the guard and the horse roll really high initiative. "Wait, the horse gets a turn?" asks one of the players. Horse proceeds to stomp the wizard into death saves immediately. Jesus Christ. That's a good start to the fight. Guard keeps failing attack rolls, but it doesn't matter. The horse keeps creating. Monk is the next one to be trampled by the horse. Rogue tries to put his staff in its mouth and get on top to grapple it. Natural 1. Horse bites the pole and throws the rogue away and drops the staff. Artificer gets his kicked in, now making death saves too. The rogue proceeds to get trampled too. The entire party at 0 health. WTF? The NPC kills the horse and heals the party, and it's the end of the encounter. He is severely disappointed in them. Monk swears to punch every horse that she sees. The whole party vows to never speak of this again. They leave, but the guard never actually died. That face when I just gave them a potential recurring antagonist with a vendetta against them. That face when I have to tone down planned encounters next session so as to not repeat this. You guys ever almost TPK with a random encounter like this? Oh, Jesus Christ, this was way better than the title. This was way better than I anticipated. Also, the first comment is brilliant. The obvious move is for the horse to come back from the dead so the party can beat the dead horse. How did this happen? Jesus Christ. Never expect the players to do what they say they will. Be me, DM. BPCs who just defeated the big bad evil guy after a 3-year campaign. DM has promised that this session will just be wrap-up fun. Resurrect their dragon ally with the diamond they got, go back to the home base and have a parade in their honor, festival and the works. DM is truthful. He has mechanics for fun mock battles and stuff during the parade. Planning on a 2 to 3 week holiday break after this too, so it's a nice bookend to this adventure. Players are amenable. Be Ranger, having morning coffee on the roof of their instant fortress. Hey DM, do I see anything from up here? And he gets a stupid high perception roll. Backstory: the party had prepared to do a slog through the swamp to get to the big bad evil guy. The DM had prepared a point crawl. In the end though, they used magical f***ery to TP most of the way there and skip 95% of it. It. Okay, I have notes for all this somewhere. You see 2 paths leading away through the swamp, likely to other ruins or disused rallying points for the undead army that was here. Party decides that instead of going home, they're gonna go wander in the swamp looking for, I don't know, zombies maybe? I'm the sidekick NPC and I think this is a bad idea. I'm the other sidekick NPC and I also think this is a bad idea. Yeah, that falls on deaf ears. The party goes exploring and the ranger fails his survival check miserably. They stumble upon a Yuan-Tai burial site and get into a tussle with guardian snakes and the spirit Naga with its dumb people face. Not a ton of trouble to defeat it, but there was a scary moment or two, and the Naga dies hissing that it will kill them. Bard and Ranger rob the burial site. Jesus Christ, that is extremely aggressive. Items and coin are passed around to party members. Party decides that that's enough exploring and teleport back home like they should have done in the first place. I kid, we had fun. They get home and the session time is up. There's no parade, though we did have a small party at their home base. Anyway, now there's a constantly reincarnating snake monster with 16 intelligence who will hunt them endlessly. So that's a fun tool for me as the DM. I'll be back. Yeah, okay. That could have gone way worse. So honestly, this isn't too bad. Like, I don't know, from the setup, I was really expecting this to go in a way worse direction and have a way worse ending. This was just the 4th session. Be me, 5th edition newbie DM. Be not me, Grung Warlock, Human Monk and Human Fighter. Be playing mostly vanilla 5th edition with some homebrew items and a pirate themed sourcebook. Be playing a pirate themed campaign. Yahar.x. Be saying too many times be. Be not caring. Be stranded on an island with naughty monkeys and a small port town. Players decides to f*** around the said town doing shopping and stuff. Grung Warlock agrees to get experimented on by a local pharmacist. Chaos ensues and mutagen loaded crossbows and eldritch blasts are flying around. This will only hurt a little that wow. Pass some time. Players all meet in front of a local tavern. Warlock now has a third hand constantly robbing his cranium. Players get tasked by the local mayor to spank the local hag in the swamp that kept messing around with townspeople. Grung Warlock asked for a ship in return and then says yes. Human Monk and Human Fighter find the hag's shenanigans hilarious and want to congratulate her, so both say yes. Just as planned, mostly, that JPEG. Players arrive at swamp and get attacked by a pack of wild crocodiles. Shenanigans ensue. I can't, for the life of me, balance combat well, that JPEG. Human Fighter's turn comes and he nails one croco to the ground and decides to turn it into a banner. Proceeds to rip away its skin barehanded and use it as a warning for other crocos. One croco decides this is too f***ed up and starts to run. I'm not sure if that would be enough to intimidate a croco, but anyway, let's see where this goes, Jesus. Human Monk's turn comes. Human Monk is in bad shape. He remembers having bought drugs from the pharmacist and chugs a pill of totally not meth, quote unquote. Proceeds to tie 2 crocodiles together with a rope and surf on them onto a wholesome adventure. He's still high as a spaceship for the next 8 hours. Sea turtles.mp4. Gets dragged away through the swamp while other players tend to their wounds. No one follows the monk. The session ends. In summary, Human Fighter is now wearing a dead crocodile as a cape, Grung Warlock has a third hand that's rubbing his head, and Human Monk has become the king of the swamp, surfing on two crocodiles while high on nut meth. All in a day's work. No, this is a pretty good straightforward story of D&D shenanigans. I like this. Ticks off all the elements. Bimi, DM of a 3.5 edition campaign. 4th edition had recently come out, but we do not like. Generic caravan guard start and gain a level fighting bandits. Complete another journey between towns with no incident. 3rd journey, more bandits, lose a couple of characters, start new ones and gain some levels. Final version of the party consists of an elf fighter wizard, a dwarf cleric, a human bard, and a half-orc fighter ranger barbarian. Jesus, okay. 4th journey is uneventful, and 5th or maybe 6th they fight some orcs and track them to an abandoned castle. The orc settlement occupies the courtyard, and the party attacks by surprise and manages to defeat the orcs after an epic battle. Loot the settlement, gain another level, and everyone's happy. The castle is roughly semicircular in shape, with external walls joining onto a cliff at the backside and the fortress built into the cliff as well. Bardic knowledge check. The heraldry/sigils on the walls indicate that this is the Kinlac castle, and the great treasure, the Ring of Kinlac, is probably in there somewhere. Supposedly bears powerful protective magic, so everyone wants. Gates to the inner keep are black metal of some kind with gold runes and still closed. No orc huts close to these gates. Such foreboding. Fighter wizard and bard examine the door with detect magic and such. Appears to be an abjuration in nature, not surprising, but they think it will let the party pass. Open the gates, cringing in anticipation of lightning or negative energy, or rocks fall, everyone dies. None of the above, the gates open. Brief golden flash passes over the party as they enter the Great Hall. Imagine a 7-pointed star where the center has been spun clockwise about 180 degrees, making the whole thing into a spiral. That's what's painted on the floor of the first room. At each point there's a rune, each glowing in a different color of the rainbow. Fighter wizard and bard examine the runes and whirly spiral thing, and the barb fighter ranger and cleric are getting bored now and start opening side doors. A small air elemental comes charging out of the first room, and yeah, they fight. Fighter wizard and bard abandon the whirly star runes and investigate the rest of the castle. Lots of minor elementals. Kitchen has a fire elemental that bursts out of the stove and attacks the party with a burning cleaver. Baths have a water elemental blowing bubbles and getting soap in their eyes. Garden has an earth elemental bashing them with a tree. Library is peaceful and quiet with a homebrew sand elemental which tries to put them to sleep. Explore the library looking for information on the spiral or runes or the 7-pointed star in the Great Hall. Find a tome called The Whirl, 7 Seals. Looks like it might be what they're after. Fighter wizard and bard read this tome and I give them a summary because hell if I'm writing 100 pages of magical nonsense for them. Summary is that the symbol produces a gate to whichever elemental, quasi-elemental, para-elemental or nano-elemental plane is desired. The 7 runes at the points are seals, and in order to let the denizens of the planes into the castle, they have to be unraveled. The swirly star also needs to be straightened out in order to open the gate. This will happen when the necessary ritual is performed, but there's a catch-22. The castle's main bedroom is where the ritual is performed and can only get there by performing the ritual. Similarly, the Ring of Kinlac is required for the ritual, but also obtained by the ritual. Nothing in the tome about how to resolve this problem. Okay, whatever, carry on searching the castle. Fight a metal special elemental in the forge, wrestle a mud smell elemental in the barracks, and fight a chlorine gas toxo elemental in an alchemy lab. Find a secret door in the alchemy lab, and behind it there's a passage through the walls. Find some backstairs and go up a level. Secret exit found, but passage continues. Look through a peephole and it's a corridor. Explore the corridor. There are more rooms, more super elementals, sub-elementals, and Comic Sans elementals. Map shows an area in the center of the second floor where there's no apparent way in. Back to secret passage. It leads to that central area. A suite of rooms, master bedroom, small walk-in wardrobe, and a long drop toilet, etc. The structural elements of the room, like ceiling beams and pillars on walls, have more runes, similar to those on the main gates, in example gold and abjurative. Now we've bypassed their supposed requirements to perform the ritual in order to get to this room, in which we can perform the ritual? Does this mean that we can similarly cut the Gordian knot on finding the ring? Party starts searching the room. Find another tome hidden in the wardrobe, and it's decorated in the same style as The World 7 Seals. This one's called simply Unraveling. Fighter wizard and bard read it. Summary again. its instructions for the ritual, and then also details of how it and the Whirly Star and runes were designed. Fighter Wizard and the Bard set up the ritual. Cleric is anxious, and we have no idea what's going to be summoned. What if it's out of our league? DM, you wouldn't do that to us, would you? Trollface that scroll. We all take turns DMing, and there's plenty of history of TPK and Deus Ex Machina. Nobody's keeping score, but we're probably due a merciless TPK. What's the worst that can happen? Bard and Fighter Wizard begin the ritual. The floor goes semi-transparent and they see the stars straightening out and the seals at the points fade into invisibility. A wild djinn appears, wielding 2 scimitars, one flaming, one icy.
I demand a riddle, or I'll chase your souls through the hells.
Okay, tell us your riddle.
No, you have to tell me a riddle, and the answer must be wood. Don't argue.
Players think about it for a minute, and then the Bard's player asks if he can make a perform or bardic knowledge or something check. Okay, I give him a clue. Tell him to look at the runes in this room and observe that the beams are made of wood. Aha! Shouts the Bard. Suit's beams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I've unraveled the whirl and the 7 seals. Everybody is looking for some ring. Jesus Christ, I cannot believe that I've read this entire thing and it was a shitpost. Or, you know, one of those ending in a pun. Jesus Christ, I am so... was I supposed to see this coming? I don't know. I am disappointed. Anyway, on that note, that's gonna be it for today's video, so thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did and subscribe for more if you haven't already. Also, thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon, as well as YouTube, I appreciate a lot, so thanks so much for those. Links below if you wanna check them out, as well as links to the subreddit, Discord, any social media, and yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye!